Okay, let's do this thing. Hi viewers, welcome back to another episode of Breakfree Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the business world, motivate lifestyle, inspire and motivate people. Please like and subscribe. We're also on YouTube and on Facebook. And today we mom she lost her job in one brutal year, and she started off with importing lashes. So she's also now a few years later, she's also a few awards that she also win. So guys, if you're interested in a story and want to sit and listen, and also if you're interested of becoming an entrepreneur, this is the episode to watch. We also the location that we are at Science Media House. So yeah, guys, Georgina, tell the viewers who you are.
So my name is Jorgina Heugh. I am 33 years old, currently living in Atlantis, but I was also born in India. I have two kids, which is age 10 and 15, and I work in the beauty industry.
Okay, so yeah, you did say, did you ever have a chance to study?
I tried to study. So when I was living in Langaban, there was a time I decided to study online tourism management because that is the industry that I was in. However, because I didn't have the proper support, I quit in the middle. I think by the 6 month I quit. However, as a business owner, I've always tried to educate myself and further my studies with entrepreneurship programs.
Okay. Um, did you ever, what is your first job after school maybe or while you were studying?
My very first job to work in the Amat.
Okay, that's in Atlantis, guys.
Yes. Um, yeah, I worked at Amat at the time. I think it's safe right now. But there was people working there, and then they saw me, and then they asked me to come work there as a cashier.
Is a cashier, yo. So your very first item was eyelashes. How did you let people taste it or sell it to people? Can you take us through that?
So before I started my business, I realized that there was a big gap in the market when it comes to affordable beauty, specifically eyelashes. I normally used to use lashes, however, it was either very expensive to maintain or it was very poor quality. And so I
Okay.
decided that I wanted to start my own lash brand, which is affordable but also have good quality lashes. And I personally tested my products first in the first couple of months, seeing how it works, and then I tested other brands' products to make sure what it is that I don't want and what I would like. And then when I eventually imported, I used friends and family um, to test on to see how it looks on different eye shapes, how the different styles work. And then I think I launched my business a month after I registered it. And then I started getting sales or few sales, and that was also the people that I used to use. And my daughter was also always a model, an eyelash model during the
Okay.
journey.
Um, how did you come up with a door by Hertz?
I don't know about you.
Yeah, a door by Hertz.
So when I was looking for names for my business, I knew that I wanted something that would make women feel good. Hence, I said adore her. Because I felt like many of us women, especially when we went through a lot of trauma, we lack in taking care of ourselves and practicing self care and also um, just in general spoiling ourselves. And so the door was for that part. And the by G, the specific G is for my daughter's name, Gabriella, because she inspired the business. Firstly, she wanted me to start a YouTube channel, which I'm still going to do, but she was the reason behind all of this.
Okay. Um, what was the biggest lesson you learned about pricing in handmade beauty products?
That's actually something I learned recently. and I've been about 8 months into business doing my own products or making my own products. And recently in a class, I realized that many of us, we price based on what we, basically on how we, the raw materials that we buy, the labor that we put into it, the electricity, etc., and stuff like that. But what somebody taught me in that class, or they told us, when you price your products, you also, even if you don't have the space you're renting, all overheads needs to go into pricing your products. Because if you're not doing that, then you're actually making a loss. Because should your products blow up and you become bigger and you do get the space that you are working from, then it means that there's many things that wasn't part of um, pricing the products correctly.
Okay. Um, how do you keep up the quality consistent with still making everything yourself?
So, firstly, there's only certain days that I do my products, and then I have numerous recipes for my products, and I stick to the T every millimeter, every milli,
Later.
ah, every milliliter stays the same. Everything gets measured to the T, and I think that's the way that I keep my stuff consistent. The only changes would be if there's a different flavor, or if there's maybe a glitter in the lip gloss or something to that effect. But majority is the exact same because I follow the same recipe every time.
Okay. Um, how do you what market moves actually works for you when you had almost no budget?
When I started my business, I obviously used numerous ways to market my business. However, what I realized is that majority of my clients, they support me because of my story. And so one important thing I realized was that by marketing my own business, I'm not only saving, obviously, because I don't have to pay anybody to do it for me, but also it made me confident to sit in front of a camera, to take my own pictures. And especially in business, you don't have the money to spend on unnecessary things. And you need to see where your strength is. And you have to use that self strength to build on it. And my strength was to market my own business. And the nice thing was I always wear my nails, I always wear my lashes, I'm currently wearing my lip gloss. You are the brand. And if you're using your products and wearing it, people's gonna ask you about it. And that is the strongest marketing point, as well as utilizing your clients.
Mm.
Because once they become fans of the brand and they use it constantly, their word of mouth is actually bringing you way more clients than any influencer could ever do.
Free advertising.
Exactly.
So can you tell the viewers what systems did you put in place to help your business surviving the early chaotic months when you started off?
I had no systems.
Yo, straight to the point.
There was no systems. I started my business off. It was an idea, and I didn't
Mhm.
think I didn't think it's gonna work. But when I was doing it, I had a mentor, and I think that was my system because everything that I used to take on, if it wasn't right, you would correct me, or you would assist me, or help me, guide me to make the right decisions. And he was also the one that got me now to this point where I do have now systems in place where I now know that the importance of basically educating myself and doing the programs so that I do have systems in place now. But in the beginning, there was no systems and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it as long as you learn
Did you ever think your business is gonna fail?
all the time. I still think sometimes it might not work. As an entrepreneur, it's a very big thing when you're doing business that you doubt yourself. And there was a time my business almost failed. Many people don't know that in 2023, I almost closed my business doors. There was a space where I had to choose: am I gonna pay school fees and buy school clothes, etc., or am I gonna buy stock for my business? And I chose my kids instead of the business. And so I literally went on TikTok to tell people, look, I'm going to close my business now. I can't maintain both of it. And I asked them for the last time, please just support me. I have these nails, a lot of them. If you guys buy, it will also help me to look after my kids. One day, and it was sold out, and my business never closed.
How important was it to get into those accurately programs of growing yourself, the programs that you
The
currently busy?
accelerator programs. For me, it was a big thing. So, as I said in the beginning of my business, there was no systems, no structure, no nothing. Me, I came out of the hospitality industry, so I knew that my strength was always to sell,
Mm.
and so sales and customer service. And I always utilized and ran my business according to my strengths. But as I realized as time went on, that I obviously had to look at financial systems, I needed to look at admin, I needed to look at the way forward, marketing, etc. And the accelerator programs is there to basically empower you and upskill you to do things better and differently. And it's also a place that I use for networking because in those spaces you meet numerous entrepreneurs with different businesses, and many times you hear from their experiences, many times they teach you actually how to do things better. And also, a thing that I've learned there is that the community within the
Mm.
accelerator program is the most important part. Um, and that is a resource also in itself that helps you as an entrepreneur because entrepreneur, entrepreneurship is a lonely journey, and you have so when you're in a space like that, you can relate to so many things with each other and help each other through the journey. And I've met so many amazing entrepreneurs and friends through all these accelerator programs that I do not take for granted.
So, can you take us to through some of the awards you won and how did it make you feel?
So there was a couple of them. I won. I think it was with Inside Education. I was one of the top 100 shining star entrepreneurs, or top 100 shining stars in South Africa. With it was with KFM that I won the Warrior Woman Award, or not, I didn't win, I was one of the finalists. But there was a couple of awards and a couple of competitions that I won. For me, I always tell people it's always an amazing feeling because, and I think one of the most important awards for me was one that I won locally, which was
Atlantis
with
Creator.
Atlantis Creative Hub, and with them it was for my resilience in entrepreneurship. And I think that was one of the biggest blessings for me because I always felt nobody looked at me, or I didn't felt looked at in my community and acknowledged for what I do in my community. So for me, it's a thing of being recognized for what I'm doing, not only in the business space, but also in the space of representing Atlantis. Um, it always makes me feel like I can do even better. I can do more. And then it's very, I take it very seriously because obviously now you have a lot of youth looking
Mm.
up to me and people feeling inspired by my journey. So I enjoy that I'm able to get these awards for the work that I do because it always also proves to me that I'm on the right.
Um, yo, I was thinking now because I see you quite a lot on TikTok. So how was your first video when it just started? How did it make you feel and what did go through your mind?
So my very first video on TikTok, I actually put in a lot of time. I will never forget it. It was just before I launched my business. I had about 7 outputs for the video because obviously I was watching
Mm.
influencers. I knew exactly what to do, and it was literally a video where I was showcasing all my roles in my business, which was the marketing person, the admin person, the videographer, the person that's doing the finances. the face of the brand, which was a 1 minute video, but it took me a whole day to
No,
make. And then after posting it, I got about 7 likes, I think, and I felt so bad.
a day's work in 7 likes.
And it was like I felt bad, but I want to say to the next person, consistency is key. It's 4 years later, and I don't get any more 4 likes. However, it's a thing of improving yourself and just showing up for the business and for yourself as a person every day, whether you're getting 1 like, 10 likes, or 1,000 likes.
What one thing you wish you knew about running a product business before you started?
As a clear visa, yo, guys, spending money when you make products is crazy. I had this discussion yesterday with a friend of mine. She's also in the product business. And she said to me the money that she's making. And I explained to her, yes, I'm making the money, but the amount of money you're spending constantly. Because now I'm not just only importing and putting stickers on. I physically, or I literally have to buy the oils. I literally have to have the equipment. I literally have to make sure that I have enough stickers. I must put in the work, the time, the everything. It is very time consuming. But I think the best part for me is when I see somebody using my product and they happy, or when they put a review on Google to say, look here, this product is working, then all the effort, all the money that's going into it, it's so worth
Can you take us some of the pro? I see as a main start. I think this is the beard. Okay, I don't have beard viewers, but can you take us through some of the products that you have here?
Okay, so currently, so we have the brand is obviously Adore Her by G. However, we have a men's range called Adore Him, which we have lip balms. We have 5 types of lip balms. It is unisex, so we have a Adore Him section also for our lip balms. And then we have, it's not only beard oil, it's skin and beard oil.
Oh,
And then our aftershave balm, it is a beard and aftershave balm. So both our products for the men's range, there's multi benefits. And 2 types of men can use it. It's not specifically just for bearded men. And then we have lip gloss. We have numerous types of lashes, which is strip lashes, and we have the classes or temporary lash extensions. Our own glues. We have nails. So yeah, that's about
all the products for now.
for now. Yes.
How do you deal with work-life balance?
Everybody asks me all the time, you don't deal with it. So it's extremely difficult, and I always tell people I get really overwhelmed lately because currently I'm studying, I am a mom, and I'm running a full time business. And right now I am full time in a class, which means during the day I'm in class, early in the mornings I'm packing packages, late in the night
At
I'm
what time?
doing
Like
packages,
5 o'clock in the morning.
4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and then at night between about 10 and 1 I'm still working, doing orders, doing invoices, doing assessments. It's quite exhausting, but I think what motivates me doing all of it is the future that I'm wanting for myself and my kids.
So Zina, I want to know, especially because it's the last question, the motivational question. If what motivational words would you give to the youth?
I always say the same thing. Start where you are with what you have. Many of us, we have this tendency, and it's not necessarily youth, business owners in general. We don't get started because we feel like we're lacking. We don't have a ring light. We don't have an iPhone. We don't have perfect packaging or stickers. You shouldn't let what you don't have keep you back, because if you get started and you build, you'll realize that all of that stuff will bring you or will be better. So just get started today.
Okay. Thank you, Zina, for being on the podcast. And yeah, guys, please do not forget to like and subscribe and comment. See you in the next episode.